Welcome to Hitman Boxing. Hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that donate button in the description section too, to keep the content rolling, you know? But listen, Jermell Charlo is probably going to face Jarrett Hurd next. Apparently that's the fight that's being worked on. Al Heyman's working on it. A unification bout for 154, right? Because Jarrett Hurd got 2 belts. Jermell Charlo got 1 belt. So it'd be a nice unification bout. And the kid from Top Rank, not Top Rank, my bad. The kid from Golden Boy got the other belt, right? But he's food anyway, so he'll get his eventually. But I want to talk about this Jermell Charlo-Austin Trout fight from last night. Jermell Charlo went into this fight, they was talking like he was going to knock out Austin Trout. Now, I knew this wasn't going to happen because Austin Trout doesn't get knocked out. You know, he fought Jarrett Hurd and he quit in his corner, basically. You know, TKO, whatever you want to call it. But he didn't get knocked out. And Jarrett Hurd was probably going to be the more likely guy to knock the guy out because, you know, Jarrett Hurd puts on that relentless pressure and, you know, you just figured Trout would fold in the later round just like he did in that fight. I mean, Jarrett Hurd got dudes folding in most rounds between 8 and 12, right? They typically start fading around that time and he can catch up to them and stop them, right? Now, Jermell Charlo, on the other hand, won 12 rounds. It was a majority decision. He got a couple knockdowns. I don't know, man. He could have did a lot more in that fight if you ask me. It seemed like he was just too relaxed, man. He was too relaxed in that fight. You know, I wasn't that impressed. You know, I like the Charlo brothers, but I wasn't impressed by that majority decision win. You know, one of the judges had a draw or some shit. Like, nah, man, that shit wasn't no draw. I had Jermell Charlo winning the fight regardless, right? So, congrats to him for beating congrats to him for beating Austin Trout, right? I don't know what was up with the gear he wore to the ring, but, you know, that's just on him. But let's get to the interesting topic at hand, right? Jermell Charlo and Jarrett Hurd. You know, I really don't know what to say, man. Honestly, I would probably pick Jermell Charlo to beat Jarrett Hurd simply because Hurd is there to be, he's there to be hit, man. And even though Jermell Charlo didn't get a knockout last night, you know, he knocked out Lubin, he knocked out Hadley, he knocked out John Jackson. It seems like he has a renewed, like, power, you know, because he's not known for his knockouts like that. And most people, if you ask them, they'll say Jermell Charlo's the better fighter amongst the Charlo brothers. But, you know, Jermell has been pretty impressive as of late against good competition, man. I mean, Lubin was a prospect. I mean, it seems like Jermell Charlo's always the underdog in a fight. But if he fights Jarrett Hurd, he'll definitely be the underdog. I'm probably going to put my money on Jermell Charlo to win the fight simply because I think he can definitely exploit Jarrett Hurd's weaknesses a little bit better than Hurd can exploit Charlo's weaknesses. Now, whether this fight actually gets made or not before the end of the year, you know, that's yet to be seen. But I think it's a great fight for 154, and it just puts us one step closer to having another unified division in boxing, man. Jarrett Hurd is a guy who surprised me. You know, I wasn't on the hype train for Jarrett Hurd, man. I felt that he basically just uses his size to his advantage. You know, he's a huge dude, man. He's like 6'1", 6'2", or something like that. But, you know, in terms of his weight, it seems like he blows up a lot on fight night, man. Like, he'd be big as fuck. So, all his past competition, he's just basically just walked through them, TKO or knockout, man. So, I mean, Tony Harrison, that was a technical knockout. I'm trying to think of what other fights. I think that Tony Harrison fight was one that comes to mind. I know Oscar Molina. There was some guy he was fighting. It was a tough, I don't know, man. I really don't remember, man. Like, Jarrett Hurd is just big as fuck. And he beat the fuck out of Austin Trout. Didn't knock him out, but pretty much stopped him. You know, he seems to think that he could beat Jermell Charlo pretty easily just based upon his performance against Trout, right? I think he's got another thing coming, man. I think his chin is gonna be tested like tenfold because he gonna be coming forward the entire fight, man. But I don't know, Jermell Charlo. It'll be a good fight, man. I don't know. I want to lean toward the Charlo, man, because I don't like picking against them because they typically win in situations like this where they're the huge underdog. But Jarrett Hurd, man, he's beating the shit out of motherfuckers right now. So he beat the shit out of Lara. But you know what was cool about Lara? The fact that he actually stood toe-to-toe with him and he actually fought him. And wasn't super on the defensive running like he normally does. Well, I'm not going to say running, man, but you know what the fuck I mean. Jarrett Hurd, you got to respect the guy. You got to respect him at 154, man. He holds 2 of the belts. You know, he's the IBF, WBA champion, I believe. Jermell has the WBC championship, so it'll be interesting to see what happens, man. I would like to see one of these guys get a fight with Kell Brook because I think Kell Brook ducks everybody. Jarrett Hurd has mentioned that he wants that fight. And matter of fact, I think Jarrett Hurd said he wanted that fight before, you know, as a tune-up before the fight with Jermell Charlo, which is interesting because he called Kell Brook a tune-up fight, man. Kell Brook don't need to be at 154, man. Kell Brook honestly needs to just suck it up and make that 147, man, because it's only a matter of time before he get his ass beat at 154, especially if these belts are, you know, starting to be held by one guy, unified. You know, whether it's Jeff Hurd or Jermell Charlo, man, Kell Brook get knocked the fuck out, honestly. Let me know what you guys thought of that Trout-Charlo fight. How would you compare it against Hurd's victory over Trout? I thought Hurd's victory was way more impressive because he basically beat Austin Trout to within an inch of his life. And just to see Austin Trout so gassed in the corner and not able to return to the ring, thought that shit was funny as fuck. Too many theatrics from Jermell Charlo yesterday, man. Too many theatrics. Trout was there to survive, man. He wasn't there to win that fight. He was just there to survive and not get knocked out. And it's hard knocking a dude out who's basically running from you the whole night. But that's just what it is when it comes to Austin Trout, man. He was once an elite level fighter, but he's kind of dwindled off, but he's still a veteran, man, and you know he's careful, knows what to do, knows how not to get his ass knocked out, and that's what he displayed Saturday night. But his ass did get knocked down twice. It was a decent fight, man. The fights weren't that great last night. You know, Abnamara's Santa Cruz. I kind of figured that's how that shit was gonna play out, and of course I've already spoken to Terrence Crawford and Terrence Crawford and Jeff Horn situation, but Jeff Horn got beat the fuck up like we all knew he would, and that's that. Let me know what you guys think about a future fight between Jermell Charlo and Jarrett Hurd. Are you picking Jarrett Hurd over Jermell Charlo? Do you think he'll finally shut Charlo up, or do you think Charlo can overcome all the fucking odds against him and beat this huge motherfucker, man? I'm riding with Jermell Charlo to beat Jarrett Hurd. Hitman Boxing, drop a comment, like the video, subscribe, donate, and I'm out.
I woke up in a strange place, right next to a strange face, head banging like a drum. I do not know what I've done. I see a couple empty bottles, thinking it's today but it's tomorrow. A new day, same shit, and I think I gotta have it. I'm feeling like a scumbag.
Underrated, you niggas steady ignoring greatness. A pallbearer, what you need when I come undertake it. This hostile takeover by the chill hover. I got the blueprints, I really do this, so move on over. Stay in your lane, nigga, stay in your lane. You steady running at the guns, but fucking suck at the game. Ain't it a shame? It really is. My words evoke fear. I teach you lessons that'll have you breaking down in tears. Call me Joe Clark with a baseball bat. Just chaining up the doors and spelling all these niggas from rap. Cause they kill your brain cells, son. How don't you see it? They steady brainwashing you and then repeating, but 'tis the season for chill wage. I bring about change, but not Obama, cause this nation I will never claim. I got my sights aimed at the top spot on the chop block.